Welcome back. This is Suzanne from Hairdo Salon, here to show you one more curling technique. I'm going to be using a curling iron today, and I've heard this technique referred to as the Victoria's Secret curl. It's an unusual curl because we're going to flip-flop the pattern of our curls. Each row I do, I'm gonna switch up my direction, but you can see here I'm starting in behind the hairline. Make sure the tail of the hair always stays in the back. When you slide your curling iron out, you want to tap the handle gently so that you don't disturb your curl. And then we're going to alternate the direction we're going. So we flip our curling iron back the other direction and take up right where we left off and curl the other direction. Once I have wrapped my new section of hair around the curling iron, I am doing one rotation like I showed you in our first styling video. You can refer back to that if you want more details on how to do that. So here we do our second curl. I am again going the same direction I did my first curl. I'm getting one rotation on that curling iron, and then I'm doing a full twist rotation. This isn't necessary if you don't want to do it. It actually adds a little bit more curl if you want. Then I'm using the handle, tap, 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 to be very gentle, turning my curling line the other direction, taking over exactly where we left off and going backwards. And then you can see here I do that little rotation like I showed you in our first styling video. So now when I get to my next section, I am going to stand in front of the hair and curl it back away from the head, which is the opposite of what I did on that first one. And again, this is completely up to you to do. It doesn't matter what you want to do. The more directions you go and the more twists you make, the more detail you're going to get. There's nothing wrong with being very simple, going all the same direction, and not doing that extra rotation with each curl. There we go. I do always tug on the ends because I like my curls to be a little bit more relaxed, but you can see I am curling now away from the hairline as opposed to curling towards the hairline. So my one rotation, and I actually forget to do the extra rotation twist there, but no worries. Still flipping back and forth between each curl. So one way, take my curling iron out, turn my curling iron, go the other way, and this just continues. Now this technique, actually, the longer the hair, the better it looks because the more directions you get to go. This mannequin is a little bit short to get as the benefits of this curling technique, but you can still get the gist of it. It's still a fun technique. I love the unusualness of it, but it's just very fun and natural looking. Again, a reminder to make sure that the tail of the hair is away from the end of the curling iron, away from that tip of that curling iron. You won't be able to rotate the curling iron if the tail is in the wrong spot. So always keeping that tail at the back side of the curling iron. And curl one direction, and you can rotate it if you want. Take your curling iron out, flip it the other direction, pick up where you left off, and curl the opposite direction. And you can keep doing this as many times as you need to for the length of the hair that you're curling. So here we go. I turn it once, and then I'm going to do the little twist here. And there you go. And now I'm going to feed that curling iron out using my thumb on the handle, just clicking it over and over again so I pull that curling iron out without disturbing my curl. I turned my curling iron the other direction, picked up where we left off, get it turned around that curling iron once, then I do my little twist. And I believe that we're going to be on our last section now. And again, on this top one, it's a little bit of a bigger section, so I do 3 sections going back. Rolling away from the face, which is the opposite of what I did on the row below it. So one complete turn on the curling iron. I do my twist, have my tail back behind, flip my curling iron over. You get the gist of what's happening here. Go the opposite direction, All right, I only went 2 directions on that one. The hair's getting a little shorter, the layers in here. All right, here we go again. Rolling away from the face. Tails in the back. 1 turn. And then you can twist it now if you want. You don't have to twist it. It's totally up to you. It does add a little more detail. Use that clamp to feed my curling iron out without disturbing my curl. You do have to be careful with these curls. You kind of see how I kind of support that curl that I've got. You don't just want to pull it straight in the middle of curling it, because that will actually loosen your curl quite a bit. And here is our last curl on this side of the head. All right. Again, 1 rotation around the curling iron. And then I do 1 twist. Get it back into position, feed my curling iron out, switch my curling iron direction, curl the opposite way. I'm going to do a twist here, and then another twist and slide that curling iron out because her hair is short. All right, there we go. Now you always want to let your curls cool down before you mess with them, because if you start combing through when it's hot, you're going to take out a lot of that curl. And because I combed it, I do have to kind of mess with it a bit to put the curl back in. So now, and you can see there, it's just it's unusual. It's beachy, but it's not perfect. So this other side, I'm actually going to intermix 3 different techniques that we've already learned now. So this first one is just going to be our basic beach curl that we learned in our first video. I am going to roll all the curls away from the face. I think that looks better around the hairline. You obviously can do anything you want. But I get 1 new piece of hair on the curling iron, and then I do my little twist rotation, and then I feed it out and get a new piece around the curling iron, and I do my little twist, feed it out, grab a new section of hair. Here we go. Feed it out to a new section of hair, get that turn, twist, get a new section of hair, turn, twist, and I do a double twist on that end. And again, I am kind of obsessed with tugging on those ends because it just kind of collapses that curl a little bit. This next section, we're going to switch things up, and we're going to do our triple barrel with the flat iron. So this is where I got my flat iron, and we just over exaggerate up and then down, and then up and then down. I like to end on the downswing because I like to have my end kicking out a little bit. Okay, this next one, we're going to do what we did on the opposite side, our Victoria's Secret curls. So we are going to wrap, and I don't think I do any twists on this side. I think I just do the original Victoria's Secret curl method I learned. So 1 direction, flip my curling iron, other direction. All right, and then take your curling iron out, flip it in the other direction. So I'm just leaving out that extra twist rotation. Same thing over here. All right, I turn it once, and then I use the handle, clamp, 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 to slide that curling iron out without disturbing my curl. I'm going to roll the other direction just the 1 time. Do the same thing. I'm going to clamp with my finger now, clamp, 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 to slide that curling iron out. And I'm going to turn my curling iron again and wrap that little end up. All right, I do twist the ends. Okay, I lie. Next section, we're going to go back to our beach wave. And going to roll these away from the face. Again, this beach wave was the first video that we came out with on how to curl your hair at home. And I do like to take bigger sections. I know I've talked about that in the past, but I like the bigger sections. When you have the little sections, I think you just get way too much detail. So rolling everything away from the face, still using my thumb to clamp, clamp, clamp so that I don't disturb my curl, and the curling iron will slide out easily. The only time I don't use the clamp, clamp, clamp thing is when I'm on the very, very end, that last curl after I've done my double rotation. I like to actually just kind of pull the curling iron straight out because I like to stretch that end a little bit straighter. And so that keeps my end straighter by doing it that way. Okay, so we're going to do a quick triple barrel here. And in all honesty, this is a little bit of a fail on this one. I didn't exaggerate my flat iron quite enough. But you know what? It's okay. It still works. I just like all the different textures inside of the look of this. And now we are going to do the one we just learned. Actually, what I'm going to do here, this very first one, because this is my last section, I like to do just the regular beach waves around the hairline. Anytime I do a technique where I'm using multiple patterns, I always will do these last couple of ones around the hairline, just the basic beach wave. I think that you're guaranteed to have that one look good always. And so it's kind of a fail safe. And so I like to do that one there. And then here, because this is supposed to be the Victoria's Secret curls, I do this right behind. All right, switch my curling iron, go the opposite direction. All right, now I'm going to do the back very, very fast because you've seen me do this one already. And then as soon as my curls cool down, I will get this all combed out. Usually after I comb it out, I kind of take my mannequin head and shake it around to get all my curls to mess up and get back into fun shapes. On your own head, it's not a bad idea after you've combed out your curls to flip your head upside down and just shake. You can have a little pomade or something on your hands. But here we go. Here's our two sides. You can see this is the three mixtures. And the other side is our Victoria's Secret technique.